Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of We Bought a Mic, a podcast about so many movies. We're drowning in it. It is that time of year where the good stuff is hitting.
Remember like 6 weeks ago when like we were just like, I guess I'll just like go see Weapons again because like no other movies were released this week?
Yeah, the industry is in a bad place. Welcome. My name's Ernest.
My name is Hunter.
I'm Drew. I'm excited to hear what's the scuttlebutt in these newer films. I myself am a bit of like a layman. I wait until they get on demand.
Yeah, so we didn't mention this specifically before we started recording, but we're now reaching the point that Ernie, in the next week or so, we will have seen or about to see like all but maybe like 2 of the big releases left to come out this year.
Between the two of us, not combined.
Not combined.
We'll get into that in a little bit. But yes, we're covering the spread here of the big contenders. We have a list of, looks like 8 movies that we're going to talk about here. But before we talk about that, I wanted to run some news by you guys. The news segment is not a recurring one, but every once in a while, something comes up that I think is worth talking about. And I'm sorry, Nolan heads, it's not the first look at the Odyssey.
Yeah.
That's a separate 3-hour podcast.
What if you're like, so the government shutdown is ended. Takes Chuck Schumer. Do we like him?
Andrew Cuomo, our guy, did not get elected. Couldn't get him across the finish line. We'll try again. He's still running.
We should really pivot in like the year 2026 being like, I think centrism is going to win out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the route we should take.
There is a pending sale of Warner Brothers right now. It looks like Warner Brothers Discovery is going to be acquired by either Paramount, Skydance, Netflix, or Comcast Universal is kind of the big bidders. But that's not the big story. The big story is, how is that going to impact the newly announced Skylar Gisondo, Jimmy Olsen TV show on HBO? I need you guys' take.
Is this really what you were coming to bring to
Did you hear about this American Vandal re-team up?
That's why I heard about it, because the American Vandal creators, I don't know what they've been up to since then.
They made a show on Paramount Plus called Players that I watched every episode.
About like gamers.
Yeah.
in the style of American Vandal.
Yeah.
American Vandal, particularly season 1, was like a very, very special piece of comedy. Like that was like a perfect little enclosed project, like an exploration of genre that no one had ever done before. So I still believe they have juice. I didn't watch Players. No one did, to be honest.
Literally nobody did.
Cannot believe you did. Forgot that you
Was
did.
it good?
You told me all about it.
It's good. It's not great. It's not as great as American Vandal.
Either seasons of American Vandal.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Okay. Well,
Excited for Skylar. Excited for the project. It sounds like, I hate to admit it because James Gunn's annoying, but like I have faith that under his umbrella, even tangentially involved, I still believe that like it's gonna be all right.
As long as James Gunn, stays at arm's length and lets different creators keep their vision and doesn't make everything's James Gunnified.
He's like, did you think about putting in like a song by Broadcast or something?
not to talk about a podcast on a podcast, but Skylar Gizondo's episode of
What's Our Podcast?
Yeah, it's great.
Shit.
Listen, he's one of the boys. He's one of the good neighbors.
I know.
Boys.
It's just one of those like, man, I just know we be boys.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
With Gisondo, not with Kyle.
No, Kyle's too cool.
He's
a dad. I wouldn't be able to relate.
Did you see the controversy?
The AI thing?
Yeah. He used AI in his Digital Society music video. And people were not having it.
And I'm gonna say something. It rocks. The whole joke of it is that it's AI and it looks like shit.
Look,
so I am not that upset, and I'm sorry.
And here's the other thing that I will say is, everybody, I hope that y'all are keeping one spot on your top 10
for Kyle
year
M.
list. No, not for Kyle M. For Kyle M's Christmas album.
Oh, that's right. It's out tomorrow.
It's coming out. By the time that this is out, we will have a Kyle M. Christmas album on our
2
hands.
in 1 year.
Oh.
And get ready. King Gizzard, fucking step aside. Okay, that's all that I can say.
So yeah, hopefully this Warner Brothers Discovery sale doesn't impact the production of the Skylar Gisondo, Jimmy Olsen show, because
we haven't talked
that's
about,
all I have left.
Sure. Okay. I also hope that for, I guess, because I like slop to be good sometimes. I really hope that Netflix doesn't get this more than anything.
That would be really tough.
As much as the dissolution of studios is never great, and like Warner Brothers and Paramount becoming one would not be ideal. Netflix said in their pitch that they're going to include theater releases. Fucking believe that when I see it, because once the sale goes through, it's not like they have any obligation to keep that whatsoever. So that sucks. I hate that this is the state that we live in right now, but
Yeah, we'll see how it progresses. Any thoughts on the Odyssey photos? Do you guys check those out? Looks like the Odyssey.
Yeah, I think I think the idea is that they're making an adaptation of the Homer poem, and I think it's
I think that's the idea. Yeah,
British director Christopher Nolan is at the helm of it.
Yeah, and Matt Damon's in it.
The photos sort of reflect that.
Yeah, it's true.
It's gonna be amazing. I'm ready for it. Give me the Odyssey. So I had 2 very interesting weeks. The last 2 weeks of movie going. One week I saw the films The Running Man and Jay Kelly. And I thought, oh no, our movie's bad. And then the next week, I saw Rental Family and The Testament of Anne Lee. And I said, wait a second, movies might be amazing.
So before we get deep into The Running Man, let's just generally talk about our guy, Edgar Wright.
I think he's cooked. I think it's over.
This was the chance for him to prove that he's not cooked. It hasn't been super great lately.
Well, you're a Baby Driver hater.
I am. I was a little bit ahead of the curve. I think the thing that I noticed in Baby Driver, and if you go back and watch his earlier films, try not to let it ruin them, because they are great. They're great to watch. Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, oh, Simon Pegg tricked us into thinking that Edgar is good, because Simon Pegg is super involved in the making of those movies and wrote them.
He's going to have to figure out a way to get that back.
Here's the thing with Edgar Wright. It was all style. And in particular, it was all quantity of style. It was all cuts. It was things that you learn pretty early in film school. You know what I mean? Like he was addicted to like match cuts. And like, that's something that like, your professor's like, yeah, it's cool, but like, it's kind of corny. But he did it so much and put so much, he did it so meticulously in every single scene that it became impressive, and it became a signature of his style. As it turns out, when he eases off that gas pedal, you know what I mean? And when he just tries to lean on making a good movie instead of going like full force into the aesthetic choices, it seems like we're running into problems. So tell me about Running Man.
I was moderately excited for this movie. I think that, I'm holding a lot of Glen Powell stock here. And when I sat down to watch it, I said, you know what? If this movie works, it'll be because of Glen, not because of Edgar.
Wow.
I kind of had this buy-in already, knowing that like Edgar, just based on Last Line in Soho, and less so Baby Driver, but Baby Driver is one of those movies that like I'm scared to rewatch because I just know it's not going to hit as well.
Guys, it's not going to hit as well.
Yeah. So I knew that there were things about it that weren't gonna hit, but I thought the hitman will be here and he'll carry me through, and he did not. The movie tries to juggle these two tones of this very serious story of a guy trying to provide for his family and being like oppressed by this, kind of borderline like post-apocalyptic society that kind of mirrors our own in many ways, just the techno fascism of it all.
Yeah, it's it's from The Sick Twisted Mind of the Main Bright.
Yeah.
Cujo.
Yeah. So it has that, and then it has like the zany action movie that Edgar Wright is incredibly good at, and it never lets those two meet.
Have you seen the original?
No.
Interested to go back and check it out, honestly, because
I've heard like not great things.
No,
even
it's
the original.
That's the thing,
like it's kind of like universally known as a pretty lesser King work,
and it's also known as like far from Mount Rushmore Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Which he was everything he touched was gold back then. So not shocked to learn that they
why did this even get made then? Like, if there's like, yeah, this was like a bad movie.
This
wasn't well received then. Let's get a director who's on a cold streak to try.
I think
to
Edgar
find
Wright.
this
I think
and
Edgar
give them a
Wright.
significant budget.
He wanted to.
He wanted
and
to,
he still
yeah.
has pull. He, you know, I would love to. I wonder what it would be like if he made it like 5+ years ago.
I mean, at this point, more than 5 years ago. Like, it's
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim was like 15 years ago.
yeah. I don't know. man.
crazy.
It sucks too, because I think the first 3, the Simon Pegg movies, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the
Classics.
Dead, At World's End, are all just like true bona fide classics, bangers. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is my personal favorite of any Edgar Wright movie. To this day, I think that's like one of the like most innovative movies that like utilizes CG and the animation integrated with live action characters I've ever seen. Like, I would put that on par with like things like the Roger Rabbits and even the Space Jams, things like that, when you're talking about the melding of these two worlds together. I like Baby Driver in the moment, and I am scared to rewatch it because I liked how snappy it was. That was but again, to your point that you were saying earlier, that is a movie that is all style. Like, that is kind of it. Do not read into like, the themes or anything like that, because
the story is just, that was the first time I was like, this story is stupid. It's about a guy who wants to fuck his mom.
And you're like, it hasn't come out yet, but I don't trust this Kevin Spacey character at all.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
I walked out of the theater like LeBron style. You know, I was like, I don't know. I got a feeling about that guy.
So the movie is not like.
And Last Night in Soho is terrible, absolutely awful, dog shit movie. I just want to say that.
Wow.
That movie is awful. It's really bad.
I think The Running Man might be worse. I mean, I think The Running Man, like, if you just turn your brain off, you can have fun with it. There's enough, you know, sort of action sizzle happening there that you can enjoy it. The problem, the core problem for me is that they're trying to do this satire of this world that is trying to exploit people in a similar way to something like Squid Game, right? People throwing themselves into this situation because they're so desperate that they need money that they'll kind of endanger their lives to get it. And it's just so far away from reaching the heights of something like Squid Game or something like The Hunger Games.
I was
like,
going to
we've
say
seen
The
it.
Hunger Games is a huge comparison,
Yeah.
even though the books came after, you know, Stephen King's book. But I watched those movies for the first time this year, and even though they're really uneven and like really far from like great, the thing that it really impressed me is how insanely dark they are.
Yeah.
Like,
and this tries, but it doesn't quite commit. And then it injects this like zaniness and fun, which is fun. Like, Michael Cera pops up in this movie, and it's a fun scene. You know, it's in the trailer. They show a lot of it there, but the tones don't meld. And Glenn, you know, he tries his best. He's playing this angry guy, but you know, he has this inherent charm to him, and he just can't kind of glue it all together.
Is he too affable to play this?
It just doesn't
I'm starting
work.
to worry he's limited.
Yeah, I'm worried. I mean, he does have his moments here.
He wants to, I think he wants too badly to be liked by his audience.
Yeah.
I don't know if his best route for him is like leading man. Like, I
mean,
kind of think
brother,
that's what we're
trying to tell him that it's not going to work.
Well, that's the thing, is that I feel like he could, maybe he's like an overqualified or an underqualified number one, but like, you want him, if he is your like number 2 second build, you're gonna have a fucking great time at the theater.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want him in the everybody wants some role, where he's just gonna come in, he's gonna absolutely kill it as like the best supporting actor of the year that you will see in a movie.
He will not be doing that.
I know.
He also
I know, but I'm just,
co-wrote
you know.
he co-wrote Hitman, which I think is part of why
he's
I love that movie a lot, because he is feeding, his performance is feeding off of his own like idea for what the movie needs to be.
I thought he was too, I didn't think he was fit for that role either, to be honest, even though I like the movie. He's too hot.
He's saying he should be.
Who's your ideal star and filmmaker any era for this story? This story could
You need
work.
an angry guy, a guy who reads like beaten down,
Denzel.
angry, desperate.
Denzel is great when he's like, his back is against the wall.
Yeah.
That's his whole
Young
thing,
Denzel.
right? Is that it?
Sure.
Denzel, and then what? Like fucking
Like Anton Fuqua?
Yeah, vintage Fuqua.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not current Fuqua.
Michael director Fuqua.
The movie also
do you
is trying to be very expansive and kind of a little globe-trotty. Like it's shifting through a lot of locations and different scenarios. So it's not this contained thing, which I think the Schwarzenegger one was, which kind of detracted from the book. This one is trying to stick to the book a little bit closer. So overall, doesn't really work too well. I think my biggest problem with it too is that it does feel like it is the thing that it is satirizing. Like it is trying to make this statement about like how mindless consumerism is a tool of the oppressors. And then the movie itself is just mindless.
It feels too mindless.
Consumerism. So it falls apart.
The other ideal, like the guy who made those movies in the 80s was, you know who I'm talking about. A guy who made like RoboCop and all those.
Oh, Verhoeven.
Verhoeven.
Dude,
yeah.
This movie feels like watered down Verhoeven. Like,
yeah, like that was the whole thing.
Yeah. No,
who made the original?
Paul Michael Glaser.
I can't believe Verhoeven didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
No, there are scenes in this movie.
It's fucking Arnold.
It's from
this guy, you know?
From the director of Kazan.
I just
Something's gotta give. That's who you want for this, right?
I just watched RoboCop for the first time this year, and there are scenes in this movie that feel like we're just reheating RoboCop.
Verhoeven was like decades ahead.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not like he was like inventing the stuff, but yeah, this was his whole area. It just, Edgar Wright never felt like a perfect match for this.
I mean,
unfortunate.
I don't know. Just with Edgar Wright in general, I do want to go back. I would never have called Edgar Wright at any point in time like my favorite director, but there was a point in time coming off of that high is where he was at. He was like meeting us at like the perfect age. Like we kind of grew up with Edgar Wright movies. That he was like, he's still an important filmmaker to me, but it feels like ever since he got kicked off of Ant-Man, in the making of that movie in 2014, 2015, that like something kind of broke with him. And I know part of that is Simon Pegg going and getting a truckload full of money from the Mission Impossible movies. Now those are over, so maybe he's got some free time on his hands. But I don't know. To your point though earlier, Drew, like about just style over substance, I think that is like something that is, whenever people use that phrase, it's often kind of levied unfairly at somebody like Wes Anderson, who has so much, like his style isn't just in the look of something or in the way that something is edited. It's in the pacing of the story. It's in the writing. It's in the characters that are in there. Like it's important that you have your voice injected in things. Maybe Edgar Wright doesn't really have much to say aside from being like the best at very flashy editing and cinematography.
Yeah, well, he had an incredible eye. He knows how to do visual jokes, which are by nature not in the script. Like he's really good.
I actually think Edgar Wright, could he have made the Naked Gun movie from this year?
Exactly. That would be the best use of him, is something like that. He is so good at staging and it cutting at the right moment. Like he has a mastery of that, and then he's trying to make movies that don't need that.
Well, there's a version of The Running Man that is that, and I think that's what pisses me off.
Is there humor in this movie?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Yeah, okay. You could have made a fully Edgar Wright-ified version of this, and that's not what it is. And I think that, if you go into this movie not knowing who Edgar Wright is and you just want a standard like action movie, you can't do, there's worse options than The Running Man. I think I'm rating it so low because I know Edgar Wright and I know what he's capable of. And this felt so disappointing because of that. Also, if you have Lee Pace in your movie, do not put a fucking mask on him so we don't see his beautiful face. What the fuck are you doing?
That's fucked.
It's probably not even him.
It's because if Lee Pace is like mask off in your movie, like you're spending the whole time being like, why isn't he the star?
Yeah, why isn't that guy the leading man?
Just too hot.
He's 6'5".
It makes sense. So speaking of is your goat washed, Jay Kelly, a movie that I've seen.
So you have been, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, because you have been far meaner about this movie, just from what I've heard, than anybody else in our little group that saw this with you. So
it's not a bad movie. It's a perfectly fine movie. I think that I just didn't connect with it, and that's fine. It's not that it's a Noah Baumbach movie. It's beautifully shot. It has great performances from movie stars in it. It's just one of those that I was waiting for it to kind of sweep me off my feet in a way. You know, I was ready to be captivated by the story of Jay Kelly, aging movie star trying to find meaning in his life, played by George Clooney. Also starring Laura Dern, Adam Sandler, a bunch of other people. Greta Gerwig's in there. It's a big cast. I enjoyed it perfectly fine. I didn't hate this movie. I wanted to love it. And I found myself feeling very, very removed from it and feeling like everything was happening in front of me and I wasn't being sort of absorbed and let into the story of Jay Kelly. So it's going to be on Netflix. People will get a chance to see it. Like I said, George Clooney, Adam Sandler, directed by Noah Baumbach. Very lavish movie.
Where are you at as far as like awardsy movies? Because I think that before the Frankenstein rebound, which we will talk about, Jay Kelly was going to be Netflix's big Oscar push movie that they have. And now I still think that they're going to push some things for Jay Kelly, but they might pivot more of their resources to Frankenstein. What do you think for our boy Sandman specifically?
It could happen. I think he needed to be in the movie a little bit more. He has a couple standout scenes, but honestly, Billy Crudup might get.
Let's go.
I have heard that Crudup too.
It's just one scene, but it is such a memorable scene in the first like maybe 20 minutes of the movie.
I have penny stocks in Crudup like rotting in my basement.
He's great in the movie, and his character sort of sets the tone for this journey that Jay Kelly goes on. But like I said, I just didn't feel very captivated. It's the story of this like extremely successful, rich movie star who's like very sad and like doesn't feel like he has a lot of like buy-in and meaning in his day-to-day life. And I'm just like, I found myself not really caring that much about this story.
You don't think that rich people can be sad is your hang up, right?
I just don't think the movie did enough to convince me that I should care. Even though it is well made, it's well constructed. Like there's good shots, there's good scenery. It's lavish, it's well made. I couldn't quite get there with it. But I recommend folks check it out. Like I said, it's going to be on Netflix.
How deep are you into the Baumbach bag? I know like we watched like Marriage Story.
He's not your guy.
I love Marriage Story. That's like a 5-star masterpiece for me. But otherwise,
have you seen Frances Ha?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's good.
Ooh.
God, that's Jesus.
I kind of feel the same way.
Frances Ha is one of my favorite movies of all time. Legitimately, it's in my Letterboxd top 4. I love that movie.
It's better.
The Whale.
If I had seen Frances Ha when I was like 18, I would become the most annoying man alive.
Yeah, you would have just straight up moved to New York.
Yeah.
Meyerowitz Stories is great. I
do like Meyerowitz Stories a lot.
I do think that like, you know, he's very much in his like a Netflix chapter of his life.
White Noise.
Yeah. Well, White Noise, I kind of forgot about White Noise.
That movie's okay.
It's okay, but it's like
he likes the book too much, clearly.
Well, yeah, it kind of is reminiscent of what was the movie that we just talked about that was paying way too much homage to
PTAs?
Yeah, it's like basically his Inherent Vice, where it's just like I just love this book so much that I can't actually do a true adaptation of it.
I thought it was an alright movie though.
I like it.
I like him a lot.
So that's Jay Kelly.
I'm gonna watch it, and I bet you're wrong.
That
open your heart up, you stupid piece of shit.
Between those two movies, that week was a little down for me. But then we picked things right back up with Rental Family, which I went into kind of thinking like, okay, this is gonna like fill out like my middle tier of movies. It's just like a straight down the middle, basic little dramedy. And I ended up loving this movie. Like this movie has a real shot to make my top 10. This is Brendan Fraser post The Whale Oscar. It's crazy that he won the Oscar for The Whale. And like, I would just give it to him for this because he is phenomenal in this movie.
Let's go.
It's directed by this guy named Hikari.
It's one, she's a lady. It's one half of Beef.
Okay.
Of the Beef team.
Beef team. Okay. I think this movie is beautifully directed. It's all shot in Japan. it's a very simple story of a guy who acts in people's lives, like out in the world, pretending to be someone in their life. Usually it's somebody else hiring the actor.
This is a real thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the rental. I didn't know it was about like the Japanese rental
Yeah.
families. That's
Yeah.
like a real thing. Okay, that's cool.
Really interesting idea for a movie.
Imagine being like a Japanese family and Brendan Fraser.
Well, they need
to
a
be-
token white guy.
Yeah, to be your cool uncle or
Yeah.
whatever.
I am very excited for this. I'm actually seeing this tomorrow night.
It's lovely.
Can't wait.
It sets itself up for success, in my opinion, because it just has this baseline of like not a lot of moving pieces, not a lot of kind of intricate things. It's just like, here's this guy, he's doing a thing. We're in Japan. That's kind of
Yeah,
it.
interesting real life premise that no one's done anything on yet.
Exactly.
There have been pieces in like, the Atlantic about this. That's about it.
It doesn't overcomplicate itself, and then it creates this space in this room that in my experience made for these like kind of transcendent and really captivating moments, because it focuses, there's a lot of little gigs and jobs that he's doing through the service, but it focuses mostly on him acting as this girl's dad and then acting as this old man's kind of pseudo son it becomes, but he just comes in as a reporter doing a story on this aging Japanese movie star. And so you're kind of flipping between him building this bond with this girl as a dad, and then building this bond with this old man as a son. So it's this kind of full circle thing. And this movie got me. It really fucking got me. I was crying multiple times in this movie. And it's just really sweet, really sentimental. There's just like a soft, kind of cuddly vibe to this movie.
Who got this in our movie thing?
I want to say
draft.
Brett.
I wanted this one. It sounded good. And Fraser's obviously coming in hot. The question becomes, you don't want to think about like award season this way, but like I'm sure voters will be thinking like, is Brendan a 2 Oscar guy already? You know what I mean?
It's a stacked lead actor
That's
here.
the thing,
So
is that-
he might not even get the nom, but
does he get a second before Leo does? Like that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the Oscars are weird. So like you never really know for something like this, like what the reception's going to be. It goes wide, or maybe it goes limited tomorrow and then goes wide a couple weeks later. It might be going.
We're getting
wide.
it at Enzian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for this movie. I'm excited for Fraser to be back. I just want to state on the record, I was very, very mean about The Whale, and I stand behind everything that I said about that movie.
He's fine.
All of my anger was directed towards a Mr. Darren Aronofsky.
Right.
None of that was directed at Brendan Fraser, just to be clear. Hot Stealing still sitting there on my watch list.
One day.
Not viewed. So,
I still cannot believe he made that movie.
I'm so fascinated. I have to watch that. Yeah, I have to watch that movie.
What on earth?
Fraser's fantastic in this movie. I haven't seen every Brendan Fraser movie, but this might be his best performance ever. Like I thought he was just really great. Again, very, very tender, very soft, very sentimental, very touching. This movie's like just full of kindness and care and love. And again, it's just all shot in Japan. So you get to just look at Japan, and it's great. It's a good time. Just beautiful stuff. And then I wrapped up my week with the new Mona Fastvolt joint. The Testament of Anne Lee. Mona Fastvolt is married to Brady Corbet. They made The Brutalist together last year. Brady directed The Brutalist. Mona directed The Testament of Anne Lee, but they brought the whole team to both productions. It's the same production designer, it's the same cinematographer, music, everything. Man, this movie, this is why I love movies. This is I was blown away by The Testament of Anne Lee. It's not for everybody. It is a historical, musical-esque biopic about Anne Lee, who was kind of the leader of the Shakers, that brought that sort of quasi-religious Christian sect movement from
the
England.
Shaking Quakers.
Yeah. to America. And it's in a lot of ways this cradle to grave documentary, or not documentary, biopic about her life.
Seyfried, baby.
But
Tell me about Seyfried.
knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, she's incredible. A lock for Best Actress nomination.
The most underutilized star we have right now, I think.
This
She
is a movie
so good always.
It takes very good advantage of her eyes, like one of the most like signifying like signature looks of any actress that is working today. She is incredible.
There's an expert balance of tone here, because I found the movie very fun and entertaining, but it's this very bleak and dark and kind of like sinister story that you're seeing.
How long is it?
It's quite long. It's over 2 hours.
It's 210, but it is
It's
still
not
an
Brutalist.
hour and a half shorter than The Brutalist, keep in mind. So
That's why I asked.
yeah, you actually only have to get up to shit once during the making of this.
The movie makes this choice to depict the shaking part of the Shakers as the most beautiful dance choreography I've ever seen.
Yep.
It's up there. It is like instantly in the Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore of musical dance sequences. The way the camera holds and shows you these people moving in unison together and many times singing together, I was blown away. I was frankly swept away by the magic of cinema with this one, which is all I asked for.
So I also saw this with you last night.
Oh, you did?
I did. I was not quite riding the same high as you after this. I will say,
Sounds like The Brutalist.
I really like this movie. I think Mona might have the sauce more than Brady.
They're both great.
Well, this movie isn't nearly as annoying as The Brutalist. I don't know which one's better per se, but this movie is not as annoying. I don't know. It's kind of like you're almost have to compare the two, because they do, even aside from having the same crews, Brady is also a co-writer on this in the same way Mona was a co-writer on The Brutalist. But they do share a lot of the same themes. And that's been one thing that I've been really kind of thinking about the last 24 hours or so since we have seen this movie. I think the highs of this movie, again, similar to The Brutalist, are very high. I think, to your point, the shaking sequences that are in here are incredible. It's because everybody is like calling this a musical, and it is. Like, there are parts where just people just are breaking out into song, but it's not a musical in the sense of there's like always going to be some like saxophone and string orchestra that's backing this this whole set piece that's happening. Instead, it's like using people's breaths as the drum beat to like them just like singing along and like chanting along. Yeah.
Sort of a Les
this is-
Miserables type feel.
But better, way better.
Well, yes, this is better than Les Miserables.
Cats?
But worse than Cats for sure. Less butthole. No, I do think this movie.
There are dancing roaches in
It
this.
does remind me a lot, actually, of Sinners too. It's interesting that this movie comes out the same year as Sinners, where this is like
White people sinners.
This is white people Sinners.
Yeah.
So this is
I almost, my little note that we're supposed to fill out, I almost just wrote white people be like.
oh yeah.
And then just, that's it.
4.5 stars.
I think that the problem with this movie is that, and you mentioned it, it's a cradle to grave biopic. And so therefore, like, it
The
starts
ending
off and there
struggles.
is an electricity to it. It took me a little bit to kind of settle into the vibes, but once I was there, I was all the way in. And it's like, okay, now we're journeying over to America, and now we're doing the biopic thing, and now we got to go grow the thing. And they're like doing so many of the things that I was almost a little bit disappointed in the moment. That was like, you were so close to doing something inventive and new that I've never seen before, and yet you're falling into some of the same traditional trappings that biopics always do. With that being said, Seyfried is amazing. I really like Louis Pullman in this movie.
Plays a brother.
Yeah, Louis Palme is great. Christopher Abbott as
Christopher Abbott, so good at playing just
just the worst
the
guy.
shittiest guy you've ever met. The Wolfman himself.
Yeah. There's a surprise Tim Blake Nelson in here.
I cheered.
Absolutely love to see pop up in there at like the hour 20 mark. You're like,
Tim Blake
God,
Nelson
really
in the
need
White
something.
People Be Like movie? I can't believe
yeah, what
that.
you would have thought. I really
Could
like
have
this
used a
movie
little
lot.
bit more Tim Blake.
I wouldn't say that I loved it. I wouldn't go that far. I felt like I was a little bit.
Well, that's just because you haven't allowed the body of Christ in the form of female into your life.
I listen to Ariana Grande. I do believe God is a woman. So
Damn.
you better get that.
Is she a
get that straightened
shaker?
out.
Is she one of the two shakers
she's
that
one
are
of the two
alive?
She's shaking
Shakers
because
left.
she's cold because she has no body fat left.
I don't know if you can say
Wicked Part 2 coming soon.
I'm just
We
happy
could
to
forget
hear Amanda
this
Seyfried,
weekend.
getting off a banger because she's just been kind of sitting around for way too long. Obviously, it's up to her whether or not she wants to, be a star. But
We got two Mamma
couple-
Mias out of her.
recently, like for example, she went on Jimmy Fallon. I don't know when this was, sometime in the last couple of years.
Oh, she played an instrument, right?
She just casually did like a Joni Mitchell cover, and it was like, bitch, where the fuck are you,
Yeah.
right, dude? She is so good. She's so talented. It's like, what are you doing, girl? Get on the fucking screen.
I do hope that this is kind of a little bit of a re-announcement for her because everybody, like Amanda Seyfried, I feel like has a near universal approval.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I mean, she's been around
everybody
forever. She's
loves
probably
her.
40 at this point.
She's she is. She's 39. I was just looking this up because we were outside the theater because Ann Lee, spoilers for a real life historical character, dies pretty young, dies in her 40s. But it's funny because they have to like age her up and make it look like she's like this decrepit old woman. She's playing like 6 years older than she is in real life because she looks great.
Also,
39 is crazy because she has been in our lives for over 20 years.
Yeah, since Clueless.
No,
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. Sorry.
Clueless would be nuts.
The second Clueless.
The movie is a $10 million budget. So, like I said last year with The Brutalist, applies here as well. Look at what you can accomplish with a small budget. This movie kind of looks better than Frankenstein a little bit. Not all the time. Frankenstein looks great. But
I would stamp that 100%.
There's some shots because you can tell that when they do the wide shot of like 1700s Manchester, it's a challenge to make that look legit, right? And so the approach that I'm guessing they did for this is similar to what you would have done in 1975 when you just drew a matte painting, right? That's probably a lot of the VFX. They're very controlled and they're accomplishing a lot with very little. Mm-hmm. And so many of these exteriors and like busier sort of period accurate urban environments look incredible. Mm-hmm. I was never really taken out of it as I was in some of the stuff in Frankenstein. And I think that just, again, like I said, this movie's not going to be for everyone. It's very strange, but the musical sequences alone just catapult this thing for me. I was so in the bag. There is one scene in particular in the first half of the movie where the camera's just spinning around in circles and you're just in the center of this magnificent dance sequence of these people worshiping and worshiping in a way that is so united and fluid and like every body is a drop in a wave of motion. And then on top of that, you add the singing and these moments of like actual sort of performance beyond just the movement, which the movement itself is a layer of performance. Maybe theater kids can have their space to do what they're supposed to do. Maybe we will allow the theater kids to take over just a little bit, and then I'll change my mind after I see
Wicked for good.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. No, I do think, and I would actually be interested to know how they filmed a lot of those sequences because you can feel the claustrophobia in that, and I don't know if it is like just it didn't feel like handheld, but also I'm like not sure how you can have that many people packed around a compact space with a full-on rig. I would be really fascinated to see that because there is a confidence to the way that this is
Yeah,
shot and
Mona cooked.
choreographed that is very, very impressive.
Okay. So your faith
for
has
it.
been restored after your bad week last week or whatever.
I think I'm going to become a shaker. And I think I'm going to, sorry, Lee, I'm going to give up the sin of fornication.
Yeah, that is one thing I do have to say. So note for growing your religion, maybe one of your principles shouldn't be celibacy, because that's not the best way to like pass on your religion to others. Because one, guy's got a nut. Number two, how are you going to teach the children if there are no children to teach? Because
you're not advancing the
exactly.
I think the
why
shaker.
do you think I was born a Southern Baptist? I didn't just like go out and actively seek it. I had it forced upon me.
I think the Shakers could have avoided a lot of problems with masturbation and birth control. If they would have just adopted both of those into their doctrine, they wouldn't have been so persecuted.
Can I say something? I don't think people knew that you could jack off until like 1968.
Well,
I think that like people like just discovered that and they're like,
you're watching this movie in the 1700s. It's like, dude, you
wank one out.
Yeah, like you're allowed to do that.
Okay, tell them go stare at a wall and jack off. They didn't have anything to look at. Can you imagine?
No, there is one
Have
point
you
where they're
ever
like,
done that? It sucks.
I do, yeah.
Find a wavy like tree.
Yeah,
true with curves. There is
Seriously, like you had to have a boy who like draws. Did you ever have one?
There actually is an explicit drawing that you see in this movie.
In middle school, I had a kid on my bus who could draw like titties, and he'd be like, "Dude, $2." Dude. Dead serious. I never paid.
How many did you buy? Oh,
the Jessica Alba picture is not loading.
I know exactly. I was like, I have Google Images at home.
You didn't like subscribe to get like pay 99 cents to get like 16 pixels of a woman texted to you as a phone background. Okay.
So Testament of Anne Lee, thumbs up. High recommend.
So I also have been busy on the screener train, but we kind of divided and conquered a little bit this week, with the exception of Testament of Anne Lee. I do want to briefly just touch on something. Speaking of mothers, and of Mother herself, a movie that I saw now a couple weeks ago, the new Lynn Ramsey film, Die My Love. I really am interested, Ernest, in your thoughts on this movie, because I really enjoyed We Were Never Really Here, but I know you
Joaquin.
were like absolutely
It made my top 10
movie. I enjoyed that movie a lot. I personally like my favorite movie that she has made is We Need to Talk About Kevin. That's like a movie about incels before incels were a thing. Longtime listeners of the pod know that I have never been the biggest Jennifer Lawrence fan. And I will say this movie overall did not fully work for me. I found this to be a bit one note. And I think part of that might have just been the way that I've seen this, because since seeing it, I've read some other reviews, and it does make me want to go back and watch it. One thing I do think that is undeniable is that Jennifer Lawrence is incredible in this movie.
She's a fucking great actress.
I think that like she is getting like one of two of my favorite performances of the year so far. Like I really
makes
think
the
that
balance.
she is absolutely phenomenal. I haven't seen everything yet, but I really
I want to say, I think it was recently Emma Stone had a great quote about Jennifer Lawrence about how great she is.
Yeah, they're pals.
Yeah, because
they're making that Miss Piggy movie with Cole Scola,
where she was like, and this is very true of Jennifer Lawrence. She was like, some old acting guru or something said that like if you're watching a scene with like a cat and a person, everyone's watching the cat because the cat is just natural and is just living in that scene and reacting. She was like, that's what Jennifer Lawrence does. Like she has a rawness in her performance.
And I've heard she is very
like,
cat-like
even
in this film.
Even in the fucking like Hunger Games movies, which gets so bogged down in stupid plot, like you feel like that's a real lady in there.
Yeah.
So I like her, and I think that you are full of hate toward women.
Well, no, I don't like the version of her that we got in the 2010s because I just didn't really think that she was all that interesting of an actress, and she was in fucking everything post Silver Linings Playbook, and I just kind of had a little bit Jennifer Lawrence fatigue based on like her role because I found her to be more one-dimensional, and I've obviously been proven wrong because I think that what she does in Die My Love is a animalistic performance. This is a movie that is about it's a postpartum mother who is kind of slowly losing her mind and her sense of self, her sense of body after giving birth to this child, her sense of sexuality, like she has this drive, and her husband or boyfriend, played by Robert Pattinson,
Baby daddy.
Patty.
Bobby Patty, baby daddy.
There we go.
He's doing the voice from Mickey 17, by the way.
He's like, come on, Jennifer, come on, Grace, get back here. No, I think I will say he doesn't really get anything to do in this movie at all. Like, this is really a showcase for J-Law, but she rises to the occasion. She does everything that's being asked of her. I just found this movie to be a bit repetitive in what it was trying to say. Like, I think it starts off very strong with what it is getting at, especially like this carnal urge that we feel inside of us, that all of us do, but especially postpartum mothers do, because you just fucking generated a whole other human being, put it out into the world, and now it's like not yours anymore. It's interesting that this movie is also coming out the same year and it's only just a little sliver of it, but it's a profound sliver, I think, in One Battle After Another with the Tiana Taylor character.
Yeah.
The moment that she gives birth, she is now a mother. She is not a person in the same way that she was before.
Go do
she
the
became a
revolution,
mother.
baby.
So I am kind of in hindsight, like liking this movie more as I sit on it, but I didn't love it the same way that I wanted to.
I plan on checking it out.
Yeah. The next movie that I want to mention, and it's going live on Netflix, actually, as of you're listening to this right now, is Train Dreams. It's a new movie by Clint Bentley, who is part of the team that brought us the Sing Sing last year.
Nice.
The other co-writer
Fucking-
that was on Sing Sing.
Fucking movie right there. I love Sing Sing.
Yeah. This movie is not as good as Sing Sing. I will say it's very much, it's, I think the easiest comp that you could make for this would probably be the movie First Cow from a few years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like slow.
Very patient. It's very slow.
Patient. Patient's a great word for that.
It is a movie instead of about being about a guy who's like, I don't even remember, got a first cow. This is about Joel Edgerton, who it also is a little bit of, it's not quite cradle to grave, but is mostly centered around his life as a logger in the turn of the 20th century.
Does it get to the point of like having to get a younger guy? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
okay, because you cannot age down Joel Edgerton.
Well, no, I mean, he kind of just is like, you know, they dye his beard brown, more brown in the beginning, and then just kind of let him age up. But I mean, it goes until like he becomes an old man, and like due to things, without getting into spoilers for this movie, because I do think that this is very good. This was like one of the big hits of Sundance this year, and it is such a Sundance movie.
So
I mean that in both positive and a negative.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that like it works in many ways. It does get into like some of the Industrial Revolution and how that kind of reshaped what that whole community looked like.
The
More than
Brutalists?
anything, yeah. More than anything, it's really about just kind of like the aging of a man and how you kind of see your life slip away. And all we can kind of do is like appreciate the nature and the world that is around us, why it is here, because life is fleeting.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a depressive message.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel depressive as you are watching it.
Well, it also
There's
it's interesting to, you know, to compare it to First Cow and say that it's so patient while still covering so many years of a life. You know what I mean? That just it must mean that
It skips around.
It must mean that we get dropped into a time period and it's just like one long scene, right? Something like that.
We get dropped into one thing, and I don't think that it always works. Is there is a narrator that's kind of going through that's giving us the life of Robert Grenier.
Well, like third
this.
person?
Yeah, it becomes third person voiceover that drops you into different segments in his life, and it skips around a little bit, but it's mostly told in a linear fashion, just kind of going through his life of this like fictitious man, but guy who is very common in this time period. Like this is, I think one of the first things that they say in this is like a guy who they're in Idaho, I think. And like, he never really leaves like a 200 square mile radius for his entire life because like he never got to see the ocean. He never got to venture out farther than wherever the hell. Like it's just this one person who's just stuck in the American Northwest at this particular time in history.
So, I'm looking over, for those of you, just listening, I'm looking over at Hunter's laptop screen. He's on Letterboxd. He's given it a like and a logged, no rating. What that means for those of you not on Letterboxd is that he can't decide if he wants to give it 3.5 stars.
3.5 or 4 stars?
Yeah, he's in between 3.5 and 4. Most people have given this 4 stars looking at like the consensus ratings, but he is stuck because he's like, I might go 3.5 here.
My standard is no star first log. That's been my default for like the last like year and a half, 2 years, basically.
You're a coward.
I don't
I
do
do
it.
think that's a little bit cowardly. You can always edit it. You can go back and
I
change
do
your
edit
stars.
it all the time.
I do the same thing though. If I watch something and I liked it, but the thing is, if I watch something and I liked it and I don't rate it, that means I'm stuck in between 3.5 and 4.
Well, the heart for me means I want to rewatch this movie all the time.
Oh,
that's
wow.
what heart
so,
means.
okay,
to
so
me.
you save the heart for like great stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
do that. I save the heart for if I actually really like
the heart is minimum 3.5.
Yeah, that's exactly. You get it. This is the secret. Secret language of Letterboxd.
We all agree on this.
Come on, Ernest, get with the times.
If I pull up my movies and I just look at the stuff that I liked, that I heart, those are like my favorite movies.
Okay. See,
it's liked. It's not loved.
It is.
Okay.
Well, the heart implies love, but it says like under the heart. So I go with like. If I like it, I give it a heart. So there are a couple 3-star movies even that I've liked, but only a couple. That's rare. Usually it's got to be 3.5.
I do think, I actually have like seen some movies that I'm just like, that wasn't great, but that spoke to me. And I'm just going to give that a heart, even if it's not great.
And there are a lot of like half-star movies I've liked because I like watching them because they're bad.
I hate to tell you, you are dead on the money that this is in between a 3.5, 4 star for me. I do like this a lot. I will say this is a Netflix movie. I don't really know how well this movie is going to work on Netflix because I think most people, there's a set piece, I want to call it, like in the first like 10 minutes. And I'm like, maybe they think that that'll be enough to hook people because otherwise, like most people, this is just going to like auto play on because they're going to be like, hey, it's Joel Edgerton. Oh shit, is that William H. Macy? Let's just like fucking put this on.
Is that the brother of the guy from the TSA movie?
Yeah.
So there are.
I don't even remember what it's
There
called.
are some.
Carry On?
Yeah.
There are some movies that I do have 3 or 3.5 that I have hearted.
Okay.
I have 11 3-star movies and 28 3.5 stars.
Give me a 3-star movie that you've hearted.
Flubber.
Well, that's a movie that like at the time you probably loved.
Yeah.
So what are there any newer ones?
Here's one.
Hairspray.
Monster House. I have 3 stars and a heart.
Ready Player One.
So easy.
That doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Anyways, that's Train Dreams, a movie that I did really like, and I do recommend if you are a person who is into that. Again, it is a very Sundance movie, so if that is not something that appeals to you, I don't think this will win you over.
And we are beefing with Sundance.
Yes,
because they did reject us.
Well, I know we were. Yeah.
You know
what? I'll see you in Colorado. Here's the thing. Fuck Utah. I don't want to fucking go to Utah anyways.
I'm gonna go, and let's just say they're gonna have to let me in with what I'm bringing to that front door.
Oh,
it's a fucking gun.
Okay, so I don't.
Is this a Charlie Kirk reference?
No,
because he was murdered in Utah.
He was murdered in Utah.
No, why would you even think?
Yeah, you might not be able to put any of this in now.
For you listeners, I'm wearing my freedom cap, so it's clearly not on me. I'm not really wearing that, guys. Come on.
When is the Charlie Kirk documentary premiering at Sundance?
Wait, who would play Charlie Kirk in the biopic?
Oh, I just saw a tweet that was completely right. It's the guy who played the Dursley in Harry Potter, who was in Buster Scruggs.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, Harry Mellon.
Guy. Yeah, Harry Mellon. That's it. That's so.
He's got those terrifyingly close together eyes.
Harry Mellon is a kind man.
I think he could do. He has the look for it.
He's the only one who has the look for it.
Man, he was also in The Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could JD Vance take like a turn towards acting?
Yeah, I could see Kirk. in there.
Come on. It's the eyes.
got a lot.
You look at him, you're like, what the hell?
He needs to like beef up a little bit. Kirk was a little chub.
I mean, whatever.
Anyway,
Wasn't he chubbier in the Harry Potter movies and then he kind of slimmed down?
Yeah.
He can gain it back. Last couple movies that I want to mention here. One, I just want to mention this movie because I saw it and I did really, really enjoy it a lot. It's a movie that it's really been staying with me since I saw it. It was Just an Accident. Jafar Panahi movie, Iranian filmmaker. This movie won the Palme d'Or.
it's going to be major contender.
Yeah. Pretty, I don't want to say controversially, but surprisingly beating out Sentimental Value, which everybody thought was going to win the Palme. So a little bit of background for this. Jafar was imprisoned in Iranian jails 2 different times for speaking out against the government. The basic premise of this movie is, without getting too into the plot mechanics of it, is what would you do if you were to find basically, like, if not your capturer, the one who was torturing you in prison, like out in the wild? Like if you were just living your regular day and you encountered them, what would you do to that person? And the events kind of unfold from there. It is not a like action movie. Like this isn't like a Taken scenario or anything like that. Instead, it's a much more contemplative about like, should I, like, your impulse is like, I want to kill you for everything that you put me through. But also it's like, am I just as much of a monster as you for kind of dwelling down to your level? And there's a whole cast of other people that are also brought in and imprisoned by this character that they come across in the movie. I'll leave it at that. I know we're going to talk more about this movie. This is going to be one of the big movies of the year. This is probably going to be nominated for Best Picture.
This is one that Hunter was unafraid to give the 4 stars. So he likes it more than
4 star and a like. I will say, I don't always give a like to every 4 star.
Oh.
Because sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's 4 stars. Sure. It was well made. Did I like it?
The Brutalist? No, you didn't even give The Brutalist 4 stars.
Yeah.
That was a 3.5.
That was a 3.5.
Oof.
And not a like.
3.5, no like. See, that's what that
You're
was.
weak.
Which is almost like,
That's crazy.
I would say a 3 star and a heart is actually higher than a 3.5 star no like.
It's true.
Yeah.
We're on the same page in terms of how to use Letterboxd. Ernie, you're in a different
Ernie,
wavelength
come on,
there.
get with the
I just
fucking
like-
unspoken rules of Letterboxd.
I like watching the movie. That's what I like to do.
I do want to
Thinking
mention
about it without a star on my mind.
2 movies that I did watch this week, both of which are top 10 of the year contenders. The first one is a movie that I know, Ernest, you saw months ago and you talked about, and that is Sorry Baby.
Yeah.
By
Eva Victor, baby.
Eva Victor.
She rocks.
Directs, writes, and stars in this movie, a true triple threat. They are unbelievable in this movie. This is like one of the most impressive debut films that I've seen in a long time.
Eva, Eva, the reason I know Eva is from like New York, sort of like LGBTQ-ish comedy scene. Been around for so long. There's so many people in that scene. That's why I'm so tuned into it, because they're so good.
Yeah.
There's so many talented people.
Drew, I need you to watch this movie because I know that you would also be in the bag for this. I really loved it. It is I don't know, like I didn't dive into the true to life, like how much of this is factual.
I think a lot of it is.
It feels very real.
I think some of it is definitely fabricated, but based in some kind of truth, one of those.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. This is about a person who the movie's told in what, like 3 or 4 different chapters.
Kind of jumps
around. Kind of skips around. Yeah. You kind of pick up in like chapter 3 of 4 chapters and then work your way back to the beginning to figure out what it is. All that you know is like there was this bad thing that happened to what's her character, Agnes. But it's not explicit what happens. And then you go through the movie to kind of see the events unfold to know what happened to them, to impact their entire life, shape kind of who they are. I don't want to spoil what that event exactly is.
I mean, it's a short list
of
what it could be.
You could probably get to it pretty quickly.
Maybe 2 things on the list. Yeah. She got murdered? No? Okay, well.
The movie's less about like the event and more so about like dealing with it.
Yes, it's about like how do you not only its impact on you, but how do you like kind of live the rest of your life with that? How do you unpack your feelings with that? I really, really love this movie. I think that it's available on I know it's on POV. I think that's also on Max, though. I want to say.
Yeah, because it's A24. Yeah.
So highly recommend it. Really love that movie. But I do just want to quickly mention, and I'm gonna be brief about this because I want to do a whole deep dive spoiler review of this. But this is right up there with my favorite movies I've seen this year. Sentimental Value. New film by Joachim Trier.
Who we love.
Who made, I think, one of the best movies of this decade in The Worst Person in the World that came out in 2020. This is a reunion of him, Renata Rensby, insert Stellan Skarsgård, who Renata Rensby plays the lead. Her sister, played by Inga.
Here we go. You got
Abbas' daughter, Liliana.
Ibsdotter Lilias.
Okay, there we go. Okay, thank you. It's
I hope
very.
that's right.
I will say.
That sounds
I'm sorry.
really good.
It's very small text on Letterboxd. We got to work on that. Unlike my hover zoom that I got over here.
Just zoom in on your old. Just zoom in general.
There you go. God, it's
now,
crazy.
Oh,
now I
you
can
can
get
pronounce it.
So right.
Yeah, now Hunter can pronounce it. So go ahead.
Inga Ibsdotter Lilias.
Why is your text so small?
I don't know. It's just
we're in our 30s. You got to blow that
I'm
thing
on my
up,
work
man.
computer. It's normally fine because I have it up on my monitor and it's fine. I absolutely love this movie. I think that anybody who has any kind of this sounds like something that's directed at every person in the world, but anybody who has some kind of a strained or unspoken tension between yourself and your parents can relate deeply to this movie.
Can't relate.
I think that this is also an incredible sibling movie. That has been one thing that I've really been thinking about a lot, that I did write a little piece on the website, free ads for myself, that if you have seen this movie, I invite you to go out and check out my piece that I wrote about. That's about a lot of the unspoken levels of this movie. I think that where some people might watch this and be frustrated is because we have been trained as moviegoers to expect big blow up explosive fights,
movie moments.
You expect the movie moments, and this movie actively restrains from that many times because that's not real to life. It deeply affected me. Like, it is a movie that it didn't make me like openly sob throughout it, but instead it just like left me with this like lump in my throat that I want to scream for the characters. And that is something that is so much deeper than just like watching a movie. And I was like, the Pixar movie made me cry again. Like, they knew the right buttons to press. This is something that it's putting a level of like dread for the characters in you.
Are you thinking awards?
Best Picture.
Best Picture is a lot.
Best Supporting Stellan, I heard.
Stellan, I think, is probably going to beat out our boy Benicio with a Sweet Ball of Years. And it's very well deserved. Like, it's one of those things where he plays the dad, and I don't want to get into specific moments because there's a couple of scenes in this movie that are like will kill you because he's so charming and like he's such like a winning guy in this, but also you're like, God, you were not there as a parent either. Like, and he rides the line really well. I think Renata Rensby is incredible. She is easily one of my favorite performances of the year. Absolutely loved her.
I think this might be one of those situations where like even if the movie isn't like as acclaimed as Worst Person, it might be like a bit of a makeup situation because Worst Person just got screenplay and international. That's it. So you might see this pop up in a lot more categories because people are like, oh, I didn't get to Worst Person until after the Oscars.
I do think Renata I think this could be a well-nominated movie and maybe not a well-won movie. Like, I could see this being a movie that gets like 6 or 7 noms, 1 win.
A conclave type.
Mm-hmm.
We call that.
I do think that this actually has a chance to beat out It Was Just an Accident for Best International Feature.
Oh, that'll be a good race.
Yeah. I think we're actually shaping it for a really good international race this year. So I'm excited for it. I cannot wait for you guys to see this movie and for us to talk about it.
I'm very excited.
I really love it.
I meant to go see it. I didn't want to drive all the way to Disney.
Yeah, it was across. Well, it was across town for you. I happened to be working on that side of town, so
Yeah.
easier. But
Let me give you all a couple things really quick.
Please.
Just before we close out. So last time we did some catch up, I talked about how I've been watching the new season of Black Mirror. Generally very disappointing. A big part of it is the fact that the show no longer matters. Sort of takes away.
We are living in a Black Mirror.
Well, just
etc.
I mean, just that it's so past its prime and everyone knows it. Takes away from the gravitas of the show. You, Ernest, were like, "What about the Giamatti episode?" And I was like, "The what?" Hadn't got to it yet.
Oh.
Guys,
That's the one.
it's the one.
yeah,
It is a throwback. It would be a standout in any season of Black Mirror. It is such a great little episode. It's 40-something minutes, and you're like, wow. They packed it all in there. Not too long, not too short. Perfect. Whole rest of the season, skip.
so
it's
just
called
literally tune in
Eulogy.
for one
Eulogy.
one
It's episode 5. It is starring Paul Giamatti. You don't need to know anything else. It's just Giamatti so dialed. So dialed. He keeps it so small and so human.
Bring that holdovers juice.
Yeah.
It's just lovely. It's just absolutely lovely. The final episode of the season is a USS Callister sequel. Well, the most impressive part of
Is
it
Plum Dog back?
is just that they got him.
Oh shit.
They got Plem.
Oh my God.
They got Plem Dog. They got Kristen Milioti. They got our boy Jimmy from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Jimmy Olsen.
Yes. No.
I was gonna say Jimmy Smits, but that's not
Neither.
that's not it.
So they got everyone back, and it's like, wow, great. You did awesome there.
Jimmy Simpson.
Yeah.
The episode does not justify its own existence. I've been having a hard time watching this season, figuring out if I have just become better at watching stuff or if it's worse. You know what I mean?
Things are worse. For sure.
Because yes, but always the show was never subtle in its messaging and in its plotting. It's just, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't hate everything that's unsubtle. It just feels like they're beating the shit out of you with their message in every episode in a way that is like, at this point, it's like, you think I'm so dumb.
Well, Black Mirror wasn't always about the message. It was, I think the priority of Black Mirror was just to be like unsettling and creepy.
That's how I
It
felt.
was just short story writing. Like it was almost like short story exercise.
Yeah, that's how I felt is early on. It's like, oh, this is one of the very few shows that has the goal of making you feel bad when you watch it. Like that, especially back then, because it was different because it was straight to Netflix. There weren't many shows like that back then. It was anthology. There weren't many shows like that back then. And it wanted you to leave it feeling icky, which was, now there's a bigger variety of shows trying to do that, I guess. It just doesn't feel fresh anymore. It feels so stale. Watch the Giamatti episode. That's all you got to do.
If you want to feel icky, you could watch Monster, the Ted Gein story.
Did I talk about that in the last one?
So we were mentioning this when we went golfing, that we brought up the Texas Chainsaw Massacre right here with Ben, and you didn't say a single word.
It's almost like it's almost like that show evaporated from your memory.
I talked about how Leatherface needed to apply sunscreen. And
no, you said that he shouldn't. You said that's actually the one case where it's good that skin cancer happened so that we would get Texas Chainsaw
It's because,
Massacre.
Did you want me to derail that episode? Because I have I not talked about that at all on this?
No,
podcast?
you have not.
Discord only.
Yeah.
You guys, I watched all of the new season of Monster: this season is Monster: the Ed Gein story.
I'm just going to call it Monster Ed Gein.
It is so stupid. I watched last season too, which was about the Menendez brothers, which was like polar opposite feel. The Menendez brothers season was like a true crime. It felt more like a American Crime Story. Not good, but it felt like that.
Yeah.
Because this is all Ryan Murphy umbrella. He does everything from American Horror Story to Dr. Odyssey to American Crime Story. He does a ton of different feels.
911 also.
Yeah. This season of TV is so fucking all over the place. I could not stop watching it. It is such a mixed bag. At the core of it, Ed Gein, if you don't know, is sort of, and especially the way that this movie or that this show is trying to paint him as like the OG, true crime story, the OG serial killer who inspired every other serial killer after him. Not necessarily true. A lot of serial killers, I think they would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
but
the cinematic depictions, I think.
Yeah, well, it gets into that. It also gets into the real life serial killers and implies that each and every one of them were directly inspired by Ed Gein, because he was just the first one that was like, nationally a story.
Yeah.
This is a guy in like the 40s or 50s or something in Minnesota who killed his mom, killed some other people, dug up some dead bodies, made like lamps and shit out of their skin.
Psycho, Leatherface.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Well, and so it's clear, like tons. Yeah. Like
Buffalo Bill.
Exactly. So the show, it has a lot of that, and it deals with a lot of that. Ed Gein is played by Charlie Hunnam, who is not who you would call like a dead serious actor all the time. I mean, I haven't seen the FX show, that
Hey, Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah.
I was a big Sons of Anarchy head.
I mean, and I've heard he's plenty good in that.
The first, actually stand by, like the first few seasons of that show are awesome. And it kind of goes off the rails in the way that a lot of those FX shows did at that time. But
Charlie Hunnam's a guy who is, looks wise, he was just very much early 2000s. He was in the vein of like a Channing Tatum or even like a Brad Pitt. Super good looking guy. He was British. He was in Undeclared. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
he sure was.
The Judd Apatow spiritual sequel to Freaks and Geeks. I didn't think he was very good in that. And then the next time I saw him was in Pacific Rim, which I
Marco.
didn't care for. I particularly thought he was pretty bad in that.
have to drift.
So he never took off as like a true blue movie star. But this still, when you look at him, you're like, that's a hot guy. They do a lot of work to try to make him not look like that, obviously. He is doing, in this show, a voice.
Ooh.
You could not... I could give you a million guesses. You know what I mean? I could even send you, which I found, a YouTube video that has the real Ed Gein speaking. And
Didn't you say it was like Kyle doing voices?
well, no, that was something else.
Oh, okay. I started.
So Ed, if I show you this YouTube video, you know what the real Ed Gein sounds like is a normal guy. In this show, Charlie Hunnam is like, he's going like, oh no, mother, I'm so sorry. Oh, and if you're listening, you're like, oh, that sounds, no, this is a perfect impression. This is exactly what he sounds like. He's like, oh, mother said I can't see you anymore because you're a Jezebel. He's doing a voice that is such a choice that you're like, oh, he must have based that on. No, he's not basing it on fucking anything. He's not basing it on anything at all. He just decided to do that. I ended up kind of liking him in the show.
Hell yeah. That's the
Came
Ryan
around.
Murphy,
That's it.
like, that's the sweet little sauce that he puts on it.
It's just the show sucks so bad.
I mean, so does Dr. Odyssey.
Well, of course.
And yet,
it's just this show, and it's, it's like a lot of his shows that are trying to be a little bit, better. Dr. Odyssey's trying to be stupid, so it's like it's in a different category.
Right.
This is a show that is like feigning significance,
it wants to be good.
and it's so not significant. And the ways that it is trying to make its story important are so bad. Anytime it's covering mostly him, when we're following him, all good. Not all good. It's not all good, but like. That is the most compelling part of the show. His mom is played by Laurie Metcalf. She's obviously fucking awesome, even though it's a very one-dimensional role. We continually throughout the show are covering his story, and then the show time and time again gets too bored covering just him, and so then we decide to cover the making of Psycho. And
well, because isn't his thing like, there isn't really much to him like as a guy, so then they just only really care more about the other media that he may or may not have inspired.
There's just not a ton. Yeah, exactly. There's not a ton known about the guy. He wasn't extremely interesting except for what he did. They obviously still take plenty of liberties, but I just I don't really. Ryan Murphy's angle here, you could find it reprehensible if you wanted, because each season of Monster has been about, serial killers or like high profile murderers that have at least like a toe dipped in like being repressed gay, repressed trans, some sort of LGBTQ thing going on. Why is he doing that? What message is he trying to get across? So the first thing we cover is the making of Psycho, in which he parallels Ed Gein repressing his weird sexuality stuff with Anthony Perkins, who was like, you know, obviously is well known. He was a closeted gay person while making Psycho, and like Hitchcock like traumatized him by being like, "That's why I cast you, because I know you're gay."
Oh.
Let me. No. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who plays Hitchcock, because it is a great actor.
Tom Hollander.
It's Tom Hollander.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
From White Lotus.
We love him.
Yeah.
Worst Hitchcock I've ever fucking seen.
That's how I was going to ask you.
Unacceptable.
I had just a list of the people and the famous characters they were playing, and I was going to just like ask you a like gut check. So is Tom Hollander as Alfred Hitchcock like the worst impersonation that you were seeing out of it?
Yeah, no, it's not even close. It is so like I almost turned off the TV. I was like,
he doesn't look like Hitchcock.
He doesn't look anything like him. They basically just put a big like bulb on his neck, and we're like, you're Hitchcock now.
Just like a random guy.
Doesn't look like him. Doesn't sound like him. It's all really, really bad. The message they're trying to get across.
I don't know. According to Daily Express US, Tom Hollander is unrecognizable dressed as Alfred Hitchcock. So
I didn't recognize him. Sure, he's also unrecognizable as Hitchcock.
yes,
He's just like a third guy. It's so stupid.
He's just Alfred.
The message it tries to get across with this juxtaposition is so muddied and unclear. You do not.
Is it trying to paint Hitchcock as like a bad person?
Well, yeah, it's trying to paint him as evil, but more than anything, it's trying to paint him as like a catalyst of like feeding like the base, disgusting nature of American people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like how we all have this like bloodlust within us, and how suppressing it, you know, in whatever form, whether related to sexual desires or not, like letting it all out is what has led to popular culture getting worse and worse. So the next step is Texas Chainsaw. We get less into that because I guess the show just thinks it's less interesting.
I did see a clip going around of the director of Texas Chainsaw as depicted in Monster, Ed Gein, saying they won't let us make the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, my masterpiece. The Nixon administration is bombing innocent people in Vietnam, and I cannot make the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So
that's a real scene that
it is happen. Exactly. It is at the same time, it's trying to be like an important cultural touchstone show while also thinking that you're so stupid like watching it. It's yeah, like every single era is like they're watching TV of like the war happening. You know what I mean? Like, damn, that's crazy. That's happening right now. It's the 70s. I want to make this movie.
Like, hey, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, it's Christmas. Yeah. Oh, Happy New Year. It's New Year's.
Yeah, it's people saying the themes. It's like Hitchcock's wife being like, Alfred, you've unleashed something dark upon the American people. Like, it's stuff like that, where it's like,
are you some kind of psycho?
Literally. It's like, you think I'm so fucking stupid.
Can you please tell me, how is Golden Garnick as Ted Levine or Buffalo Bill? Because I did not know there was a Buffalo Bill
that's cool
impersonation that we're seeing in this.
You know why? Because you barely see it, because as this showed, if you were to structure it accurately, you would think maybe they'd give equal-ish time to each of the three cultural touchstones based on Ed Gein, because The Last is Silence of the Lambs. No, they decided it just like wasn't as interesting later on. Like, you get almost no Silence of the Lambs. It's so close to zero Silence of the Lambs.
Even though that is like the most overt depiction of like, this is a man who is very much struggling with his gender identity
and
sexuality.
You get none of it. There's no like Jodie Foster making it and being like, wow, this is fucked up. It's zero of that. It's just they decided to like kind of do away with that idea. And the whole time you feel like the show is just wilting because you saw them give so much to Psycho, and you're like, oh, you just kind of ran out of steam with that whole plot. But they also ran out of steam with the Ed Gein story. They run out of steam. It is so, it's aggressively bad. The girl from Red Rocket is playing
Strawberry?
Yes, she is in this playing a woman who was allegedly friends with Ed Gein.
Susanna Son.
In real life, honestly, not so much. It is a woman who said that like she knew Ed Gein and like was romantically involved with him, and then later was like, actually, no, I was lying. I'm just kidding. In the show, they made it so she's basically a co-conspirator, and she's the one who like inspired him to do murders and shit. It's really, really stupid. Every time that they stray from Ed Gein, it's stupid. Sometimes even when they're on Ed Gein, it's stupid. Another touchstone, another key piece of Ryan Murphy Productions that is usually a great thing, and in a lot of ways is he goes out of his way to cast LGBTQ actors in his roles. that's a great thing because sometimes it spotlights people that just don't have opportunities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other times, we saw this in Dr. Odyssey, it's just people who don't deserve to be on the screen because they're bad at acting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We get a whole episode that is covering these two cops who were on the Ed Gein beat. In real life, they have zero significance. It's not based on anything at all, hardly. And we spend a whole episode covering these guys who like, they don't belong on my TV. Like they are not actors.
Well, isn't that when they're trying to do Mindhunter?
Yes.
Yeah.
We end up getting into a direct Mindhunter thing. And
that's like criminal. That is like Netflix.
No, it is.
Like
the last episode of this is
giving you the finger.
Is deeply upsetting. In the final episode of this, Ed is at like an institution. The feds come and visit him Mindhunter style. And he's like, oh yeah, you guys should check out Ted Bundy. I think he's gonna murder a bunch of women. He sent me a letter saying he was gonna murder a bunch of women. And they go and get Ted Bundy because of him. That didn't happen. He had nothing to do with Ted Bundy.
Yeah, but that's what Mindhunter is.
They also
they talk to a guy who helped.
Yeah, exactly. They also dig deep into another killer I'm not as familiar with who was like taking, early on, like taking hormones to be trans. And so in the show, he has like fat prosthetic titties. And the way they subtly sort of get us into his story is by introducing him while he's getting fucked in the ass. And his tits are just like swinging while he's in prison. He's the one who sends a letter. He's talking to like whoever's fucking him. He's like, hey, you know who inspired me? A murderer? Ed Gein. So then he writes a letter to Ed Gein and is like, hey, Ed Gein, me and my friend Ted Bundy, who is going to murder a bunch of women, really like you. And he mails it to Ed Gein. And then Ed Gein's like, hey, you guys should check out Ted Bundy. It is.
Oh my God. Is this really
it's so
the events that happen?
It's so awesome.
Why? I mean, I know this is like, it's like a known Netflix thing that all of these fucking shows are like 3 episodes too goddamn long. And just because it's all about getting as many eyes for as long a period of time as possible. It's all about the hours. But why? Like at this point, if we're just like making shit up, then like, what are we
exactly?
doing?
And Ed,
are we really that out of ideas already that this is where we're at?
Yeah. And this season has more elements of like an American Horror Story. It gets pretty fantastical. It uses the angle that Ed Gein was schizophrenic, which he very much was, to get like, sort of visually and stylistically trippy with it, which the Menendez Brothers season did none of that. So like, it was like, okay, cool. We're having some fun here. We're getting crazy. We're doing a little bit of horror. It's not necessarily effective, but it's like something. There's some substance there. Mm-hmm. I enjoy watching Hunnam, even though it's like a big, stupid performance. You do end up feeling a little bit for him as a very confused, like dimwit who like did not understand what he was doing. There's a lot to mine there. They just don't do it. You know what I mean? The show ends. I was, by the way, if you're not on the We Bought a Mic Discord, you got to get on there. I was giving like episode.
You're crashing out.
I was giving episode by episode updates to everyone because I knew no one would ever watch this, but I just needed you guys to know what was happening.
You could have brought me in. You could have.
I should have lied.
You could have said before Psycho, before the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, before The Silence of the Lambs, there was.
You could have been like, hey, this was better than Bill Clinton, Clive Owen.
I didn't watch that, and I won't watch that. So the season ends because you're not going to watch this, viewer, listener. You shouldn't, at least. It ends when he dies. When Ed Gein dies, he is greeted by a singing sort of parade of everyone that he killed, and then all the murderers who were inspired by him, like welcoming him into like heaven. They're singing. Fuck, I forgot what song. They're singing a song that they should absolutely not be singing. It's like some 80s song. It's all very like happy coded. It is, I think, maybe the most like viscerally unacceptable way to end a show that I've ever seen in my life. Watching it, I was like, there was a sliver of me that felt like I hadn't been wasting my time, and you've taken that away from me. It's like the end of Deadpool 2.
Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes?
Okay.
What?
Makes no sense.
Why?
Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes, a song
Why?
from the 80s. It has no bearing on the plot of this except for like he's a lonely guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an emotional gut punch of a song. I love the song. It's not an emotional song. It doesn't make any sense. And they're all like dancing and singing to it in a very choreographed way. The serial killer with the titties comes up to Ed and shoves his titties in Ed's face and is like, I'm just razzing you, buddy. Welcome in.
Welcome into heaven? Because he's dead?
I guess.
Well, according to Wikipedia, there is a vision of the films Psycho, Texas Chainsaw, and Buffalo Bill, and Silence.
That's like it's almost like a prologue ending where, and it's even worse, to be honest. I can't tell you.
Did they just show the footage of the movie?
No, at the very end, it cuts to like some dudes in a graveyard. This is like long after Ed's died, I'm assuming. And they're just like, crushing beers in a graveyard. It's like prom or something. And yeah, Anthony Perkins and Leatherface and Buffalo Bill all come out and like haunt them.
Yeah.
And they like...
It's like that meme of like Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah. Yes.
The
Chadwick Boseman.
Yes. No, literally it is like that. It's like they all come out and haunt them and only one guy can really see it. And he's like, damn, that's crazy. And then they like drive off and he's like, that was fucked up. And then it's over.
What is the show?
I wasn't planning on talking about this at all. You guys made me talk about
this. So it's
just
like a lock for your top 10.
I needed to know. I needed to know. I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Because I thought until 15 minutes ago that this was your number one show of the year. I thought you loved it.
Well, I'm assuming you got another 45 minutes on this thing that you can.
I could easily
for the Listomania.
I could fucking easily, man. It's so bad.
Unfortunately, we do have to end the episode because we have another episode to record.
Oh, well, okay.
But hey, if anyone out there is a Ryan Murphy completionist, please seek help. There will be a phone number at the end of the
Dr. Odyssey has been canceled. We haven't talked about it on the pod, but
yeah, it's really sad.
God,
I can't believe
I'm still saving those last couple episodes. Well, hey, did you hear what the 4th season of Monster is going to be?
Yeah,
it's Monster, the film that won Charlize Theron her Oscar.
Yeah, that
they're just redoing it with Sarah Paulson.
Yeah, they thought they could do it better.
Yeah,
we're just going all the way back around.
Okay.
It's so frustrating because Ryan Murphy has talent and he has vision.
Yeah.
And there are episodes of this that are like actually good. I'd say probably 2 of like the 10 or so episodes are great. They're like good TV and you're like, wow, this is hammy, but I love it.
You know what he should do? He should do like an Avengers Endgame Doomsday Secret Wars of like everything. Like just put it all, just do Monster.
Have the Chicago team meet the American Horror Story team.
OJ, Dr. Odyssey, like just throw everybody in there. Everybody's together.
I'm exhausted.
Ed Gein, I need you to distract Kang. All right.
Kang, I don't think you should be doing that to your lady.
Let's wrap it up there. Thank you all for listening.
Jonathan.
Rate, review, and subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know your thoughts on everything we talked about. Join the Discord, patreon.com/WeBoughtAMic, $5 a month. Thank you, beautiful donors, for supporting this episode. Check out WeBoughtAMic.net to get every episode in your inbox. Next week, we're about to record a spoiler deep dive into Begonia and Frankenstein. So listen to that. Enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. And then it's the last stretch of the year. It's Marty Supreme. It's Avatar. And then Listomania. So stick around. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.